Okay, here's a video I told you yesterday I was going to play for you. One subscriber asked for it at least. When I was about 14, over there in Buffalo Estates, Tampa, Florida, this is about the Zodiac killer trying to attack us. When I was 14, there was a girl that lived about 2 houses behind me. And she had well, maybe I should tell you first that when they were building this complex, I was in some of the earliest houses. So when I was a kid, I would play around in the houses that were being built, and I got to understand the windows and the doors and how they worked. And I noticed for a while, for some reason, a group of doors were put on backwards, which made them very easy to pick from the outside, to pick the lock on the door and open it up. And I and I'm going to tell you another story about how I used that trick to get away from the Zodiac killer, the Frank and the Anglins, one time. But for right now, this girl that lived behind me, a little cute little Puerto Rican girl, I really wanted to make her my girlfriend, but she wasn't willing. But we were still friends, and all of us would walk home from the bus stop together every day. You know, the whole group, and each one would peel off at their houses or whatever, respective houses. But one day she standing in the backyard yelling at me, "David, come here." And I went over there, and she goes, "I heard you know how to pick locks. I locked my key in my house. Can you get me back in?" And I go, "Yeah, I think I can, because if I remember right, this door is one of those that they put in backwards." And she goes, "What do you mean they put it in backwards?" I said, "Well, they put a bunch of the doors in backwards at some of the houses here, and they're really easy to pick. I don't know why they didn't come back and fix that, because, you know, anybody could walk into your house." And so in the process of going over there several times, she asked me to pick the lock for her. She would forget it, and I would go and do it for her. And one time she said, "There's some guys sitting out there in a car watching us, watching you do that. I hope they don't try to break into my house." Anyway, they end up getting her brother. I'm going to tell you that story later. But what happened after this is I asked her to go swimming with me down there at 6 Mile Creek, at this big kind of pond lake thing that the Anglin brothers and Frank had made by damming up the creek. It was really pretty and a really beautiful place, but they killed a lot of people there, a lot of kids. And she didn't want to go. And finally I talked her into it somehow. I said, come on. And she was kind of like a sister to me at that time. So I took her down there, and we walked along the creek down to where the swimming hole was at. And I've showed you all of this on my 6 Mile Creek video. But we swam for a little while, and then somewhere in there I saw these guys coming, and I can't remember if they were coming in a car or they were coming in a walking, but maybe they got out of the car, because I remember these 3 guys with determined looks, like they were coming to get us. And just think about it, I'm down there with a girl, we're both 14, this is a perfect thing for these guys to go crazy over and want to kill somebody. And all we were doing was swimming. I told her, "We need to get out of here," and she goes, "Okay, well, let's go home." And I go, "Yeah, but we need to run." And she didn't want to run. And I go, "Okay, come on, we're going to walk." And we started walking, and they started walking faster. And I told her, "So we need to get out of here. Those might be the same guys that have been chasing me around here. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they're weird." And she didn't want to run. "No, I don't want to run. I don't want to run. I didn't want to come down here and go swimming anyway, and I don't want to run." And I go, "Look, if you don't run, we might get killed, and I ain't going to leave you behind." So I grabbed her by the arm, and I started running, and she started running, saying no all the way. We finally got into an area that was away from the little pond lake that they had built, and through some trees and through some areas where I could hear them coming. And I could hear them in the bushes. They were like sticking sticks in the bushes and talking to each other. They were angry, and they wanted to find us. And I told her, "We got to get out of here. Let's go. We're going to run home." And we ran home. Now, that's kind of the end of that story, but then the little brother comes into it, and I'm going to tell you that story tomorrow. There's, what was another story I wanted to tell you? I can't remember. There's another story I wanted to tell you. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. That's enough for today.